does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check it out. Rogues, the DC deck building game crossover pack number 5. This is a small box expansion for the immensely popular DC deck building game, which is for 2 to 5 players, ages 15 plus. It'll take about an hour to play. And in Rogues, you are actually going to be playing as the bad guys that are trying to defeat Flash. It also adds a new element to the game called Teamwork, in which you'll be able to use the top card of your opponent's deck. It adds more stuff, but does it add more good stuff? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Rogues Crossover Pack 5 for the DC Deck Builder. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy little rule card right here, which is going to give you a little bit of information about the pack and really go over the new keyword, which is teamwork. Because in this game, you're going to be playing as bad guys trying to defeat the good guys. Yeah, you'll be trying to take down the Flash. And since bad guys are generally weaker than the superheroes, you have to use teamwork in order to defeat them. So how teamwork works is that you are actually going to draw the top card of one of your opponent's deck and play it like it was your own card that round. Then you give it back to them at the end of your turn. However, with most of the special abilities, I believe with all of them, that foe is going to gain 1 victory point when you do that. So interesting little tit for tat there. So let's go over what you're going to get inside of the deck. Before we get started, I do want to mention this game uses victory points, which I believe were introduced in Crossover Pack 3, I want to say. I don't actually own it, so this is my first time with the victory points. I like them a lot, but I'll tell you more about in the pros and cons. So first, we've got the bad guys. We'll take a look at some of the bad guys. My personal favorite here is Heat Wave. The first time you destroy a card that costs 2 or greater during each of your turns, gain the top card of the main deck and put it on top of your deck. So this is like a really big gambling card. You're going to buy those 2-cost cards, destroy them, and hopefully get something better. So I really like him. Golden Glider. Each time you play a card you don't own, draw a card. Captain Cold. The first time you buy a card with cost 3 or less from the lineup during each of your turns, you may teamwork a foe. You're also going to get 3 more guys, and I can confirm that you can use these with your regular heroes from the game. We tried playing a game where we had supervillains and superheroes, and it worked just fine. Next, you're going to be having more bad guy cards that you'll be fighting. And in this game, it's actually going to be good guys. Bart Allen, The Flash, Wally West. And I'm not going to show you any of the special abilities because that's half of the fun when they come out and they attack and they do random bad things. But they're more that you will be able to add to your collection. And once again, you can mix and match these with your typical villains that you'd have from other copies of the game. Last but not least, you're going to get more cards. I'm going to be going over some of my favorite cards in the deck, and most of them have the victory point on it, where you will actually gain victory points when you purchase it. So this one right here, the top, teamwork a foe, and you're going to steal 1 victory point from each foe. Especially if you're playing at higher player counts, if they have victory points, that can be big. The Superpower, when you buy or gain this card, gain a victory point. Mirror Images, play the top card of your deck. You may put a card with that cost from your deck discard pile into your hand. This one can be really powerful. This is probably my favorite card in the entire game. In this entire expansion, I should say. Abracadabra, play the top card of the main deck. At the end of your turn, return it or pay 2 victory points to gain it. This one can get you really powerful cards. Magenta, plus 2 power, you may pay 1 victory point. If you do, gain an equipment from the lineup and put it into your hand. Also very powerful. But you're going to be getting more cards that you'll be able to easily mix and match into the deck. They recommend shuffling it into like 1/2 of the deck so you know you're going to get a lot of the teamwork in there, and I probably would agree with that. But once you get more of the expansions like this in there, that is somewhat difficult to do. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to get inside of the DC deck building game Rogues Crossover Pack. Alrighty then, DC Deck Builder Crossover Pack 5 Rogues from Cryptozoic. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, if you didn't like the original DC Deck Builder, this is not going to change your mind at all. Well, I really do like the teamwork concept, and I'm new to the victory point concept, so I really do like the new victory point chips that you use, even though it doesn't come with that. I don't think this is going to change anyone's mind about the DC Deck Building game as a whole. Also, so that means that all the same problems that you had with the DC Deck Builder are still there. Playing with 5 players is insanely difficult to do. There's a lot of attacking in this game, which is a turnoff to a lot of people. Also, now you'll be stealing people's victory points and giving people victory points and doing all sorts of stuff like that. It makes the game slightly more complex, but this teamwork concept is not a particularly tricky one, so it's not really that big of a deal. Any other cons that I have with that? Some people might complain about how it's not as balanced if you're playing as a supervillain as opposed to a superhero when you mix and match everything else. Really, I didn't notice a huge difference. I'm sure there is because of teamwork reasons or something like that. But for the most part, I think this is a very easy review. If you enjoy the DC Deck Builder, I can definitely recommend this expansion. It adds more big cards, it adds more villains you'll be able to fight. In this case, heroes. It's going to add more cards. And if you like the DC Deck Builder game, this is a no-brainer. The teamwork concept does not reinvent the wheel. It doesn't make, once you know what you're doing, you're not going to have to come back to this card hardly ever. It's just, oh, what's the teamwork do? That just means you draw the top card of somebody's deck, you use it, and then you give it back when you're done. So it adds a small change to the game, and I think it's a good change. It's just more variety, more cards for an awesome game. So, in the end, DC Deck Builder Deck Building Crossover Pack 5. Rogues, can I recommend it? Yes. Is it the best little micro box I've played? Not quite sure. That's a tough one right there. I think I like Time Travel a little bit better, even though I think Time Travel is more complex than this one, but still. You can't go wrong with this. If you enjoy the DC Deck Builder, no brainer, go check this one out. And if not, then you're going to want to steer clear of it. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, the Flash, does he do it for you? For me personally, no. And I think Batman really ruins the Flash for me. It's just the concept of, hey, you're the Flash. But then it's like, oh, but here's Superman right over here. And he has the same ability you do, except 85 more special abilities. You know what? Superman just ruins everything. Forget you, Superman. You're too powerful. Stupid Superman. Well, let me know in the comments below. The Flash. Do you like The Flash? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.